Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of Atonement, Sins of the Past. As you can see, I am still working on getting the energy, the weather deflected, so we can go and reclaim the surface. And for that purpose I've built an infusion altar. However, this is the very first infusion altar that I've built, and I am a little bit concerned that it's all going to blow up. This is because making the weather deflector, which has to be done on an infusion altar, is described as very highly unstable. And I've been thinking about using floating flowers, the glimmering flowers from Botania as stabilizers, but I think I will simply need too many. I've also made a few candles from some zombie flesh I had, but this is all the candles I could make, and honestly I do not think this will be enough. I've been reading stuff about instability, and although nobody seems to know anything for certain, and people reckon, that the maximum instability that you can have is 25, but that can get repeated at different points in the procedure, as it's pulling different essentials, etc. from around it. It turns out that each pair of these candles only raises the stability by 0.1. I did make one of these arcane abacus things. I think this is from Witching Gadgets. And if you... okay, maybe not like this. Come back! Does it have to be pointed and clicked? Clicked in the air? Okay, I can't remember, but anyway, it told me that with all this setup, I know what it is, not the pedestal, this. Yeah, so total stability booster is 1, which is nowhere enough. So somehow I'm going to have to find a way of making more stabilizers. So I could make a bunch more flowers, but I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not sure. The other thing I could do is possibly set up a zombie spawner to make a lot more zombie flesh, so I could make more of these candles. No, not here. So I could make more of these candles and, actually put a whole bunch of them underneath the altar. Now, I did find a zombie spawner, and I got it in a diamond dolly. I forgot how bad zombies are in this pack, and I just thought I would add it to the skeleton spawner, and it was a disaster. The zombies started pillaring up, and one of them broke the glass downstairs. Now, luckily my clockwork face armor is fantastically excellent, and maybe I should put it on properly. And they couldn't climb up the ladder. They let the skeletons out, but they couldn't climb up the ladder, and I realized what was happening quite quickly. So nothing really bad happened, like dying and finishing the series. But yes, it was rather scary, so I decided I wasn't gonna use it anymore. I do believe these squid want to give me their ink sacs. I keep picking up insects from them, because I think they die in this container. So at least an ink sac supply is not a problem. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna make some zombies. A zombie spawner, but obviously that's gonna be way more difficult to set up than the skeleton spawner. Luckily, I do believe I made a whole load of obsidian once. Do I have... I'm kind of counting on having all this obsidian. No. And no, come on, I'm sure I had masses of obsidian. Is it in one of these drawers? Oh, the storage system. It's somewhere near as bad as it was once before, but it's still giving me trouble sometimes. Okay, well, I'm gonna search for my obsidian. I can imagine there's nothing you hate more than looking at people. Oh, having said that, I see it here. Right, so I have 84 bits of obsidian, which really is very little. But I think maybe I will make... Oh, look, venomous skeleton. Oh, I hope it's still there. Did it go away? What happened to it? I like the extra skeletons because they give me the bags. But something seems to have happened to this guy. Why did it disappear? Oh well. Too bad, I guess. I wish I could just get, I wish I could use something from the skellies, but I don't think they drop skulls. Even the wither skeletons don't seem to be dropping skulls. Yeah, so, well, you probably can't see it on the mini-map, but I marked the location where I had the where I found the spawner. I'm sort of putting this off because honestly zombies are dangerous. But so I'm going to do it far away from the skeletons. Where shall I do it? Is another question. No, I don't want to do it. I think this level is pretty good. Okay, let's do it somewhere here. Right, so I'm just gonna dig out the space for them and I'll see you when I've done that. Okay, it is time to do this very dangerous thing. Now, obviously this is a much smaller spawner room than usual, but this is all the obsidian I had, and then I had to go and dig some more. And believe me, this place is seriously lacking in lava. Because obviously I've got no way of making lava. So I have to find lava pools. I did also make this little flower, the bellethorne, which I believe should kill mobs. I put this down. The problem is they're gonna... to prevent the baby zombies from jumping at me. The problem is they're gonna dig through this, so I'm not entirely sure what can be done about that. But anyway, here goes nothing. Oh, I believe this is the bellethorne at work. I cannot see anything. Wow, bellethorne, you really are working very well. Congratulations. The only thing that I am worried about is what will happen when the mana runs out. I guess it's not using it up that quickly. The problem is they're really spawning quite slowly, aren't they? But I think this is just down to... not having the space to spawn in. Okay, very slow candle production. I guess I should close this up. Well done, Bellethorne. I never thought it would work so efficiently. I'm gonna go and bring you some more mana in a second. But wow. Now I wish, if I knew they would be dying so quickly, I would have made them a... maybe bigger room. But better safe than sorry. Okay, I'm just gonna sit here for a while. Hope the bellethorne continues to do the good work, and I'll reconnect with you when I've had about a stack of skins. So I've been here for a while, getting to know my new best friend, the bellethorne, which is doing a superb job at zombie killing. I am really just so impressed. And look at this, it's hardly used any mana whatsoever. I mean, the mana's gone down a little bit, but that stuff I put in the pool will last for ages. So that sort of is preventing us from getting some of the rotten flesh. But as you can see, I've got almost 2 stacks of rotten flesh, which I think is going to be enough. So I am going to call it a day. Well, okay, let me try and get the next bit. I just can't stop. Right. Yeah, so it's been mostly safe and unadventurous, I am pleased to say. Let me go down to the magical lands. Oh, I really have to do something about this floor soon. And think about how we're going to turn this into candles. So the plan is, from what I understand, you can put stabilizers in a 12 by 12 radius, 15 up to 5 blocks underneath this stone. So I'm going to dig down and basically spam the area with candles, but first I have to make them, and for that I believe all I need is a couple of precantatio, the magic aspect. So here we need to make magic tallow, and then with the tallow and string, do I have enough string? I think Botania can turn wool into string, so that's how we're gonna get string in huge quantities. But all it says is 2 precantatio for rotten flesh, and of course I'm not gonna use the smelly dirty crucible. I'm going to use this, the alchemical something or other. Now do I have, I tell you what, I'm not wearing my glasses. So one thing I would really like for the clockwork armor is for it to allow you to integrate the Thaumcraft glasses, which I don't have on me. I must have left them upstairs. Right, I'll be right back. So yes, I've started cooking industrial quantities of netherworts to produce masses of precantatio, and I've also started collecting wool from the sheep, which I will use Botania to turn into string. Oh, as you can see from the last episode, I made 7 of these ethereal blooms. I was going to make 8, but I just lost the will to live at number 7. But I can either cook another one, I guess, or I can just clear the land using 7. It tells you one of the aims is to clear an 8 by 8 bit of land. which is why I was aiming for around 8 ethereal blooms, but you know, I think 7 will work quite well as well. Okay, let's prop our magic essence here, and let's... Okay, I can see this taking a very long time. Maybe it won't be so bad. It's popping out. It's going to be keeping it supplied with enough Precantatio Essentia. That's going to be the problem, I think. But you know, each 2 of these tallows will make 3 candles, so come back. Right, well, I will just grind away at... I will grind away at cooking netherwort and cooking rotten flesh to make candles. Candle making, that's what I'm gonna call this episode. Magical candle making. But anyway, I will get back to you when I have all the rotten flesh tallow that I need. Okay, so I made a whole amount of tallow. Lots of tallow. Let's get rid of this bloody thing. And I've also been shearing the sheeps. I've got a big bunch of wool, and I am now going to make it into string. I've done this already once, so I have plenty of string as well. I probably have way more string than I need, to be honest, but that doesn't matter too much. While I was waiting, and this took a really long time, the worst thing was the getting enough netherwort, because you know, we really need industrial quantities of it to make the Precantatio Essentia. Yeah, I'm not sure if this much tallow is going to be enough, because you get sort of 1.5 per, well, we'll get over 100 candles. While I was waiting for this, I did some work on the other side of the coin, because to make the weather machine we're going to need to open a portal to the elves, a Botania portal to the elves, to get the Botania ingredients, which is another, this is something I've done many times, so I'm familiar with it, but it needs its own set of stuff. Luckily I've had enough lapis to make the terrestrial agglomeration plate, which is going to be needed to make terrasteel, which you need to make the portal and the pylons for it. I also made a rune of mana, which also goes into the terrasteel plate, etc, etc, and a couple of sparks. Where I think I'm going, I see where I'm lacking something is in mana pearls or ender pearls, because I think I've got 2 less than I need. I've got 5, but it's gonna take, well, you need 4 for the materials, I think. Well, actually, let me check, because maybe it's diamonds you need, not pearls. Where did I find the weather deflector? Oh, where is the weather deflector? Well, you know what, I will make the candles now and I will check this out. I can't remember whether I think it's dragonstone, or it could be the fairy spirits or something. One of them needs mana diamonds and the other one needs mana pearls, but the terrestrial plate also needs some mana pearls. So if I need, so I might need more, but I get them from the treasure bags that the skeletons give me. So I might have to do some more skeletons, but obviously I'm not going to do this in this episode, because I tell you what, this infusion is turning out to be the most incredibly tiring thing ever. I mean, I am exhausted. But before I sign off, let's do this. And I have a sneaky suspicion that I am not going to have enough vis or vis or whatever to make the candles, but let's see. Well, so far so good. So that gives us what, 128, almost 130 candles. I don't know if that is going to be enough. I have heard people say that you need, where is the entrance? While I was waiting, I also dug a little tunnel here. So this is where, so this is basically, this marks the spot where the matrix is. So I think it just has to be symmetrical. The stabilizers have to be symmetrically placed around the matrix. And I do believe the Y level doesn't matter very much. So I am just going to spam this place with these candles. One thing I forgot to mention, which I was interested to see with the bellethorne flower, is that although I think it's fantastic at how it kills mobs, it did have one weakness, which is that it didn't produce rare drops. So I was wondering about this, because with other mods you have some there's some ways that, you know, produce rare drops from mobs, like I think the grinder does it, and the I think the activator does it even better than the grinder. But you have other ways of mob killing which don't produce rare drops, and I'm afraid the bellethorne flower is one of those other ways. So that's a little bit disappointing, because it would have been great to get treasure bags using this automatic means of killing, but I guess it's still very good and I absolutely love it. 1, 2, 3 on this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on that side. I don't know if we have enough. We might have to remove a few to achieve radial symmetry. Apparently if you put these in a non-symmetrical way, it's even worse than if you don't have anything. You know, a lack of symmetry introduces its own instability. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 centered on this. And we've got 3 more candles. I might have to make a few more after all. It's, well, what I'm going to do in the next episode or between episodes is concentrate on getting the mana pearls for the Botania, and that should produce a bit more nether wart and hence a bit more of the essence, which I need. How do I get out? Ah, for God's sake. Let's just point our abacus at this and see what it says. Total stability booster 13. Well, that doesn't sound extremely high, does it? But we will see. Okay, maybe when I put the stuff on the pedestals, it will be able to tell me what the instability is. But I think I will end here, because honestly this has been just such a major pain in the neck. I mean, it will be absolutely awesome when we have the weather deflector and we clear up this huge space, and it will be very easy for me to cross off quite a few achievements in the book by that time. But oh my god, the road to it is such a hassle. Well, mainly because I've never really done much foamcraft before. I certainly never got to this stage, you know, the infusion altar stage. And whenever something is new, it's always a little bit scary, but also fun. I mean, look how cool this looks. Awesome. And I'm really into the essentia distillation. These jars are so cool, and they make such a cool noise when you pick them up. But anyway, on this note of utter coolness in the universe, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you will be here for the next one. Goodbye.